Shalom. Welcome to LJ's Spurs chat. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all in good health. Football season's finished. I've been watching a lot of YouTube today and yesterday. I've been reading a lot on the internet. I've been taking in everyone's views. Should Ange stay or should Ange go? Thanks, by the way, for subscribing and watching my chats and liking them and all that and commenting and all that. Anyway, the brain fog is gone. So I thought I'd give a quick opinion on my Ange in or Ange out scenario. And my answer is, after twisting my head so many ways, here's your 2 million payoff, Ange. Bon voyage. You gotta go, mate. So no doubt I'm gonna get loads of shit for this, because the fan base is proper divided. I saw the other day 75% on Sky wanted him to stay. And then I saw today, I think it was about 78% on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, said he's got to go. I've never seen a fan base split so much before in my life. But why has he got to go? People are going to shout at me. He just won us a trophy. People are going to shout at me. Well, listen, we've lost 22 games in the Premier League. He's had injuries. Okay. He's had injuries, but when he's had to bring the younger players in, the less experienced players in, he hasn't adapted. He's carried on with his Ange's tactics, the eye line, etc. But it's bad enough not adapting when you've got your full team out on the pitch. So to bring in younger, inexperienced players, excuse me. Yeah, that is the time where you got to adapt, if any. I'm not on about yesterday's game, by the way. I mean, they turned up half pissed. I half expected that. You cannot lose that many games. You cannot lose that many games. And he's saying now, yeah, after January or in January, I want to concentrate on the Carabao Cup and Europa League. Listen, Ange, you still sent out some strong sides. You didn't go out and try and lose in the Premier League. That's bullshit. It's just, let's just push that one away. That's lies. Try and cover your own ass because you want to stay. It's such a thin line between success and failure. If we'd have lost the Europa League final, everyone would be Ange out. 100%. That is the line. But you can't lose 22 games in a Premier League season. If you're struggling in the league, which we were, and as I said, you have all these injuries, and you've got to bring in experienced younger players in, you've got to come up with another plan. Even if it's to try and make yourself harder to beat, even 6 or 7 draws instead of defeats. That would push you up a little bit. The fact remains that teams have lost less and gone down, had more points than that and gone down. It's just so lucky that God was shining on Tottenham Hotspur this year that the 3 teams that did go down were absolute pony. That's the facts. Also, some of the players, what he goes for, I think I said this before on one of my videos months ago, and the prime example is Brendan Johnson. I'm not knocking Brendan Johnson, by the way. I'm not. Top goal scorer, etc., etc. I'm not knocking him, but he's just an example. So if Ange Postecoglou was at Celtic, he'll go out and spend 50 million quid on Brendan Johnson, and Brendan Johnson will light up that league. There's no doubt. He would light up a league in Australia. There's no doubt. He'd light up a league in Asia. There's no doubt. Wiley scored goals for Spurs this season. Hasn't been outstanding winger going past people, getting to the byline. He hasn't set the world alight, okay? So what Ange has done, he's gone out and spent £50 million on a player, but he's still judging these players, what he's buying from past leagues, what he's managing. See what I'm saying? Brennan Johnson is not worth £50 million. I know a lot of people are going to say stats can be deceiving, right? And just to sort of edge out there, just to prove my point about stats can be deceiving. If I'm a winger for Spurs, right, obviously dreaming, I go down every single game, I beat 2 players, I ping a ball in, I can ping in 10 crosses a game. My stats come up after 10 games. How many assists? None. Let's go back and watch them 10 games. My LJ's put in those 10 games, 45 crosses. 45 brilliant crosses. And it's been 35 easy out of those 30. 35 out of those 45 crosses have been gilt-edged chances right in front of the goal. He should have scored. The fact that that goal scorer hasn't scored means I ain't getting an assist. Right? Stats can be deceiving. Just because those strikers haven't converted the brilliant chances what I've created for them, it makes me look shit. Do you understand? So, his goals have been brilliant. He arrives in the right place at the right time. But his overall play, and you ask a proper die-hard Spurs fan, has Brennan Johnson been brilliant this season? Forget his goals a minute. No, he's been accused of being lazy. He's been accused of going missing. He doesn't take the fullback on. Blah 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 blah. And again, please, I'm not sounding out Brennan Johnson. I'm just trying to explain. He's a £50 million footballer that Ange he's spent the £50 million on, and he won't have the same effect as if he was at Celtic or in an Australian league or in a Nation League. You see what I'm saying? The jump. This is the point I'm trying to make. I'm finally getting there. The jump from the leagues what Ange Postecoglou has managed in to the Premier League is absolutely massive, and he won't never admit it, but it has smacked him right in the face. So, other Ange lovers, yeah, but last season we finished 5th. Okay. Last season, he comes in, first 10, 11 games, we're flying. We're top of the league. Please rewind back to my videos. I wasn't one of them that was saying, we're going to win the league. Because I've supported Spurs for so long and watched football for so long. Even in them 10, 11 games, Spurs fans, we were lucky in some of those games because teams had blatant chances against us. They just didn't convert them. After those 10 games, let's say after the Chelsea game last season, teams started to suss us out. Teams started to convert those chances, and Ange didn't change it. Down and down we went. Injuries, people will say. Okay, loads of teams get injuries. Bournemouth got the same amount of injuries, Ange fans will say. No, Bournemouth got injuries, but it was only about 3 or 4 of those in their first team. We had countless injuries to our first team. That's what Ange is going to say. To leave you in the meeting, I had injuries. Why so many injuries? Why so many of the same type of injuries? It's got to be something to do with the training. It's the medical staff, Ange fans will say. They can't get all of it wrong unless Ange is saying, get him back, get him back, get him back quick. Either way, there is fault. The training, the methods, the system. We'll take Mickey van der Ven example. Right? He's playing so high. He's on the halfway line, or just inside his own half. He's got to sprint back from standing position. He's got to sprint back. Up again. He's got to sprint back. Up again. You cannot keep doing that. cannot keep doing that. Inexperience comes in again. When Mickey van der Ven had that injury, I'm not sure of the game. Let me know in the comments if you know what game. There was a lull in play. It might have been an injury, it might have been a substitution, I can't remember. Spurs players were standing around 2, 3, 4 minutes. It might have been longer, I can't remember. About a minute after that, 2 minutes after that, Van der Ven sprints. Boom, hamstring goes. Why wasn't Ange saying to Mickey, as well as the other players, don't stand still, keep playing, keep moving out. We do it on Sunday teams, boys and girls. We do it on Saturday teams, what we're doing, little kids, 14-year-old kids. When there's a lull in the game, keep going. If you know it's going to be 3 or 4 minutes or whatever, you keep them going. Don't stand still, don't stand still. That's inexperience as a manager, right? Inexperience as a manager is to bring him back too early. Inexperience as a manager is to bring Romero back too early, right? If you're going to play this system, you've got to alternate, right? This is before the injuries. You look at the fixture list. I know every game in the Premier League's hard. You alternate. If you're winning 3-0, you take your 2 centre-halves off, put the other 2 on, right? With 20 minutes to go. Your full-backs, you're asking them to run up and down the length of the pitch every single game. I do not know, and God bless him, I do not know how Pedro Porro has got through this season without getting an injury. That man is a machine. I love Pedro Porro. But you're just lucky to get players like that, especially in this system. So you should have your things sorted out at the start. This is the way we want to play. You should have learned from Celtic, where he had all these similar sort of injuries. So right, first game of the season, your strongest team, right? You alternate how the game goes, or the next game, you alternate. Or you've got a plan B. Pep Guardiola, Klopp, the good managers, Mourinho, Conte, dare I say as well, they will have another plan. Ange will say, he has lately started to adapt his tactics. He's sitting deeper. No. Last 2 European games, he has. Granted, Danzo on, back 5. That's it when he's adapted. Right. He hasn't adapted because most of Spurs' best wins, biggest wins this season have come against teams who've made us play deep. Not because Ange Postecoglou has said, sit deeper lads. It's because they've been attacking us, right? They've been attacking us, forcing us back. We've hit them on the break and we've smashed them. There's a difference between being forced on the back foot and choosing to play deep, or on the back foot or on a low block, right? This is my opinion. I know I'm going to get a load of shit for this, but I've been sitting down the last couple of days trying to work out, should he stay or should he go? Because I keep changing my mind. But now this is my final decision. Like it's up to me. Please let me know in the comments. If you have a go, you have a go. It's all about opinions, isn't it? I'm not going to start kicking off. You know, it's about debates and about opinions. I'm not going to start shouting and all that like some of the other boys do on the other channels. This is just my opinion. He's won a cup. He's got to be given the next. Because at first I did say, give him 10, 15 games. He's got credit in the bank. I think I said that yesterday. He's got credit in the bank. Give him 10, 15 games. But as I've gone through the performances of the last 2 years in the league, I don't think Daniel Levy can risk it. I really don't. I am expecting him to give him 10 to 15 games. If I had to put a pound on it, I'd put more than a pound. But I just don't think he can risk it. I won't never mention the channels. Well, only one, which I will do at the end. But I saw one today saying, why would you get a new manager in? You know, he's got to get used to the team. He's going to say, you know, I didn't realise how bad it was. I didn't realise the amount of problems there was until I got here. Listen, by the time they all come back for pre-season, hopefully they'll all be fit. On paper, that squad, even the first 11, is decent. they need 3 to 4 more players. Really good players, don't get me wrong. And any half-decent manager can come into Tottenham Hotspur Football Club next season and have us challenge it. I have no doubt about it. And to be fair, I have been saying that all along. Would a half-decent manager get a better tune out of Tottenham Hotspur this season than last season? And the answer's always been yes. You can't deny it. Because that same channel was saying, yeah, but I can't see anyone out there that's like really standing out and is grabbing me saying, yeah, it'd be better. You don't need an outstanding manager to manage this squad of players. The only downside, from what I can see, of getting rid of Big Ange is the relationship he seems to have got with his players. Because they love him, don't they? And they love him even more because they've won the cup. Right, that's the only downside. People playing down this cup, which other fans outside of Tottenham are trying to play down. I'm not playing it down. And I did see the list of teams that would have dropped out of the Champions League. Because that's been an argument. Oh yeah, if the teams from the Champions League were still dropping down, Spurs wouldn't have won it. Well, I saw that list, and no doubt a lot of you have as well, Spurs fans. And no, they was at the same level as the teams that we played, beat, whatever. So this trophy is a proper trophy, and you deserve to win it. And you know what? It's such a good, deserving trophy because all of the squad was involved, weren't it? The young uns, you know, that game when I think 3 of the youth scored. It's been a collective win for the club. But from a chairman's point of view, he's got to look at it with the other board members or whatever and go, look, we're financially stable. We're in the Champions League. This guy can't do it in the Premier League. We can't afford. I know it sounds stupid, but we cannot afford to get relegated. We cannot afford it. I mean, the board really should be going out there already, looking about. Spurs have been on the news, the sports, papers, internet, worldwide since this Europa League win. They should be out there now trying to get the naming rights deal. This is the best time to get it. That's what Levy and the board should be doing right now. But that's another thing. But, well, it's not really because it's all connected. If they could get it, they got the naming rights deal, they got the, and I know a lot of these deals, along with other sponsors, you get a bonus for winning a certain cup or a cup or finishing wherever in the Champions League or whatever. But there's also the other side of that with these naming rights and sponsors that are involved in the club. They can pull money out if you drop down a certain thing, if you don't win the cup. Do you know what I mean? It all works different ways. So if I was Daniel Levy, I'd be saying, right, let's go get this naming rights deal done. Strike while the iron's hot. We're in the Champions League. Let's gamble and go and buy at least 3 world-class players. Let's get a manager that can really make us really go for Premier League and Champions League. I know it sounds like a dream at the minute, but believe me, in my opinion, as I've said, an half-decent manager can get this squad with a few additions, challenging up the top ends again at the Premier League, trying to go as far as they can in the Champions League, maybe winning a domestic cup. I don't think Ange can do it. And I will come back to that point. I think that Ange, well, also he's judged what he needs on the other leagues, because he said, wherever I've been, mate, I don't need world-class players. I just need players that are good enough to play my way. That's very admirable that you believe in yourself so much, Big Ange. But you do need world-class players. This is the Premier League. Believe me, it's the Premier League. The best league, the hardest league, the toughest league. It's never ending. It's a grind. It's a marathon. Every single team near enough that you play, you have to work your ass off to beat. So you do need world-class players in it. Who do we get is what everyone's going to be shouting. Who do you want and who do you want? I haven't actually got anyone in mind. I'm just so fit to death of next season. And if he does give them 10, 15 games, if he loses 7 or 8, then what? You're missing out then on a manager coming in pre-season and being able to work with the squad. If you sack Ange after 2 months or whatever, the pre-season is so important. Look at Man United manager. He didn't want to come through halfway through, and now look, they are shit. And now I've mentioned Manchester United, Spurs fans, let's be honest. We won the cup, and I said before the game, or probably everyone else, I don't care how we play, I don't care if we're shit, I don't care if it goes in off someone's backside. Well, it nearly did, didn't it? The goal was scrappy, the game was scrappy, I don't care. But when you're analysing, we scraped by probably the worst Manchester United team that I've ever seen in 46 years as boys on and been watching the football. We scraped by the worst Man United team for years. Yes, we won, but we scraped by them, and they're a Premier League team. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're not mid-table Premier League team, not really. They're not a top 8 Premier League team. They're not a top 6 Premier League team, and we only just scraped by. That is my point. We didn't go out there and spank them 4-0. You know, it was a very close game, and let's be fair. If it wasn't for Van der Ven's mental clearance and Vicario's save, could have been worse, and everyone would have been wanting Ange out now. We wouldn't be having this debate. So I'm looking at that, thinking that's a Premier League team. And it worried me. I know we had a few players missing, but it worried me that you're struggling to beat such a shit Manchester United team. And now everyone's thinking that we're going to be changing for the league next year. It ain't going to work. But that's about it. I don't know what you think. It'd be interesting to see what you think. It's going to be interesting to see what Levy decides, because obviously he don't know. Because he's apparently letting them go off on holiday and he hasn't told him. He doesn't know. And they're going to be sitting, Daniel Levy's going to be sitting in the boardroom having this exact same conversations with board members as just what I'm having. If you can give me any reasons why you want him to stay, please let me know in the comments. And if I think that I'm wrong, I'll put my hands up. But I think the cup win has clouded a lot of people's judgment. I really do. And it's a shame, because I like the bloke, but I do think he has a little bit of arrogance that is what's the word? Or maybe that much too arrogance. How would you say this season went? They said to him, outstanding. Hey, what because you want a cup? When he sits down, what will his excuses be for the league? Injuries, mate. No, we've already been through this. Why didn't you adapt when you're bringing young players through? Because they want them to play the same way the first team does. Yeah, but after a little while, you see we're just losing. And then you still don't adapt. I don't think he's got a way out of it. I really don't. And when you say I've come out and the other day I gave up on January, we just went for the cups, that is blatant bullshit. Because it's like putting it out there that he knew what he was doing. He didn't know what he was doing. He really didn't. If he could find a way of making this Ange ball work and be solid, it'd be great, wouldn't it? But again, how many times have you sat there thinking that diagonal ball to either fullback, every single team plays it and he don't do nothing about it? If you're Pedro Porro, for example, and he's been getting slated this season and unfairly slow, he's been told to attack, he attacks. We lose the ball in transition, ping. They ping it straight into Pedro Porro's area where he should be defending. Where is Pedro Porro? Well, he's doing what he was told to do. Why haven't you got one of your centre midfield players covering when Pedro Porro goes through? Udogie or Spence, they're flying up the left-hand side. Lose it in transition, they'll ping it down that side. Oh, Spence or Udogie, they was caught miles up the pitch. That's what he's been asked to do. So why isn't Bentancur, Sarr, Bissouma, why haven't they covered that position then? Why hasn't Ange told him to do that? He obviously hasn't told him to do that because we kept happening over and over again. That's just the defensive part of it. Attacking. You're attacking. You're knocking it about, you're knocking it about. How many shots have we had from outside the box this year? Should have looked that up first. But no, we've got to get it to the side. We've got to get it down the side. We've got to get it to that byline and we've got to fizz it across. It works every now and again. And one of our fullbacks will tap it in or Johnson will tap it in. Brilliant. Ange ball. No, teams no. Double up on them. Son, how many times he attacked the fullback? It's like they don't want to try and score from any other angle. It's got to be that way. This is what I'm saying. There's a set way to defend with Ange and there's a set way to attack because this is Ange ball. And it don't work in the Premier League, does it? It doesn't work. Well, that's my philosophy. I'm probably going to get hammered for this, but I've sat down, as I said I would yesterday or before coming down, and said I would think about it and go over their league form. And to be fair to the man, if do you know what? I think it's 60% he's going to stay, and 40% it will come out. Ange Postecoglou has left Tottenham Hotspur by mutual consent, so he's not sacked. He'll get his £2 million payoff, and his reputation is intact. But he can always say, "Well, I won everything wherever I go." And Daniel Levy can say, "Look, you know, we didn't sack him, but we just wanted fresh for new impetus into the next season's massive," or whatever he's going to say. I think that's what's going to happen. Because apparently some of the board members, they wanted Ange out ages ago, and for some reason Daniel Levy stuck with him. So it's going to be very, very difficult decision for Daniel Levy. I don't envy him on that, but that's why you get paid the pennies. Yeah, I just can't. If you can enlighten me and just please say to me, prove me wrong in the comments or whatever, say, "No, LJ, this is why he's got to stay." And please don't say just because he's won the cup, which is what I did say the other day, admittedly, that he's earned credit in the bank. But as I said, when I sat down and analysed it, it's too much of a risk. It really is too much of a risk. Anyway, thank you all again for watching. And finally, as I said, I don't call out the channels. I don't get involved in the YouTube politics and bullshit. But I have to keep saying this until I see it. Savva's tattoo, ole ole. Savva's tattoo, ole ole. Savva's tattoo, Savva's tattoo, Savva's tattoo, ole ole. Savva, you've got to do it, mush. It's out there. You can't delete it. It's all over the satellites and things. You can't delete it, my friend. You've got to get it. And if you do get it, fair play to you, but I can't see you getting it. You said if Big Ange wins a cup, you get a tattoo of Big Ange. I watched your thing for a little bit earlier. I was polite because I love the bounce, and I did put it in there, but you ignored it. Or I'm going to give you a get out clause here, Javi. If you don't want to do it, we know you're loaded. So look, I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to donate a monkey to a charity. So I'm giving you a way out. Anyway, Spurs fans, thanks for watching. Go Spurs.